Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So today we're going to talk about the tools that I use when I sculpt and a couple of measuring tools as well. But first off, I'd like to plug myself, my own Patreon page. If you want to learn how I sculpt and get some feedback and critiques from me on your own sculptures, or perhaps get some art, have a look at that. It's a link in the description below. So, looking at tools, we'll start off with the butter knife. And the butter knife is a humble tool that I haven't really used for a long time. I actually started using it because there was a butter knife left in my studio that I found. And so I started using it because it leaves a very, very good drawing mark. And it's just a simple butter knife. And I draw a lot on my clay when I sculpt to make marks, and this tool is perfect for that. It draws really nice and easy to see lines from a distance, which is great. The second tool that I want to talk about is another drawing tool, the one that I used to use a lot, and I still use it a little bit. And this is just a wooden tool from Tiranti. I'll leave a link in the description to Tiranti, which is a store in the UK that sells the wooden tools that I use. And so this I'll do, finer drawing with. It's thinner, so it's a little bit more difficult to see from a distance. And it also has like a little wooden spatula tool at the end there. It also works great for sculpting sharp wrinkles and other things that need to be sharp. It has a very thin wooden edge, and I've used some sandpaper to thin it out as well to make it even more narrow and sharp, so that I can get into all the deep creases and crevices that I want. Next tool I want to talk about is a series of tools. They're my spatula tools, I guess we could call them. They're all wooden spatulas. This used to be a little bit longer. It was two-sided, but it broke in half while I was modeling, and now I just use it. And it's nice that it's a little bit shorter, fits easier in the hand. And again, I just use this to model clay, really, and it's a very, very simple tool, again from Tiranti. And I kind of softened the edges a little bit with sandpaper. It's actually just a bigger version of this tool, which is a smaller version. It's the same tool, just two different sizes. So the other one looked like this before. And I take sandpaper and I kind of round over the edge a little bit, just so that it becomes a little bit softer. And this just seems to work better for me. I also have a thinner, more delicate one, and this one I use for really, really fine modeling, portraits, faces, smaller scale. This also has a nice, really, really small version on the other end. But they're all really simple tools, simple wooden tools. Next up we have my rakes and my loops, and these are all from the Complete Sculptor in New York City, and they do not ship, I don't think. I will leave a link in the description so that you can at least have a look at them, perhaps if you're in the US. They ship within the US, but I don't think they ship internationally. This first big one is kind of what I use, in the beginning, and the smaller ones, they're all versions, again, the same tool but different size version. This first tool is called a Rake because it has teeth, so it breaks the clay. And I really, really like the fact that it has teeth. They're very shallow teeth, so it creates not too deep of marks, not too deep marks, which is nice. It doesn't kind of scar up the clay too much. And this is just, again, same tool. They're from Sculpture House. The brand is Sculpture House, and this is the same tool. So I really, really like to try to use as few tools as possible so that I have a very, very good handle of the tools that I do use. So a lot of times I will just get different size tools, as you can see here. The rakes are a lot of times something I use to remove clay, refine the surface a little bit, or the beginning stages of refining surface, and they're great when you work over soft areas like flesh, for example. This is a thinner version of the same tool, slightly smaller, but again, Sculpture House with teeth, and it's just very, very thin and fine version of the first tool, really. But they're all kind of the same, and they all serve the same purpose, just at different points in the process and at different scales of sculptures. This little tool is a loop tool from Kemper Tools, and these are amazing quality. It's called a loop. It doesn't have any teeth, so this is the one that I use to kind of smooth out the surface or remove clay sometimes. But I love to use this tool at the end to smooth out the surface, and especially I use it a lot over bones. I love to have kind of a slightly textured finish to my sculptures, but over the bones I usually go over this tool to kind of smooth it out a little bit. Okay, so in addition to sculpting tools, I use a couple of tools to measure from the model, and the first of them is calipers. Now I use a wooden caliper for a couple of reasons. I like the feeling of wood. Wood feels better than metal. Metal is cold and hard. So that's one reason. Another reason is that the models usually don't like getting poked with metal calipers. The other tool that I use to measure is wooden sticks, and they come in two pairs. The one that you see right here with the black ending is the life-size stick, and because I'm working right now on a scale model, the smaller sticks that I'm showing right here is my 3/4 life-size stick. So I can measure on my model with the life-size stick and then just use the smaller scaled stick, and in this fashion I can easily transfer measurements over without having to use the calipers. And I have drawn a couple of lines on them, as you can see, because that just gives me, like a ruler, a couple of more easy to see reference points. Thank you for watching this video on tools. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you liked it, hit like and subscribe for more videos. And if you want to learn how to sculpt, check out my Patreon page. There's a link in the description below. Thank you for watching.